Cut an Architrave header. This is called an Architrave. It's just MDF material. It's like a 5-piece header or 4-piece or something all in one. It's like to mock the Craftsman style built-up header. So usually there's a smaller pillar and then the Architrave is on top. So see this corner here and how it looks as if it was built in several pieces. Well, I'm gonna show you how to make that cut today. Come on in here and I'll show you how. We've got the pillars installed on the door, and from this point you're just gonna measure from the left side of the left pillar to the right side of the right pillar and get that measurement. That's the only one you need. That's 34 inches. And it's okay to go just a hair heavy. So 34 inches in this case is about a 32nd or something heavy. Heavy is good, shy is not good. And I'll show you why in a little bit. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna cut our end pieces for this Architrave. They're called returns because it kind of returns to the wall. That's how I like to think of it. So we'll start with a 45 cut like this. I'm gonna cut a new one just to make sure it's clean. And then we're gonna cut straight on, just right past this line here. So we're gonna end up with a little triangle. Notice how I let the blade stop spinning while it was still down. Sometimes if you pull it back up too quickly, cutting a real small piece like this, the blade will hit the piece on the way up and it'll tear it in half. So if you just let the blade wind down before you raise up the arm, then it's better. So this is the piece we end up with. That's one of our returns. And this, now, cut off the right side, will be able to be installed on the left side of the header, which will make a nice clean corner. Okay, so now that I've got both my returns cut, one for each side, now I'm gonna cut the centerpiece. Remember that 34 measurement we got from measuring from the left side of the left pillar to the right side of the right pillar in there? Now's when we're gonna use that measurement. So first I'll cut a 45 on the right side of this Architrave header. I'm gonna measure that 34 right now. And notice where my tape is. It's right on this flat part. Because whenever I put my corner on, this is the section right here that I want to be even with my pillar, because that's matching the style of how it would have been if it was a built-up header, and it just looks right to the eye. Underneath these extra looking trims here, you have this base, this solid square base, or this foundation that lines up. So to make my mark, I'm going to measure from right here, make a mark at 34. And then you can take your square if you want to, your speed square, you can transfer that mark all the way up and make a 45 mark and transfer that. But the easier way is just to use your eyes. If you sight right down the blade, you can put the blade right in line with that mark. You see how that works out? And then you know the blade is going to cut right on the left side of the mark and everything's great. So here we go. So take a look at that. Right on the mark. Save a lot of time. You don't have to transfer it, make pencil marks all over everything. Just one little mark there is all you need. So now that that's on, or now that that cut is done, we'll take these two ends and we'll go ahead and install them right here. I'll use this saw deck as a work table. You need a nice flat smooth place. Set that right there, slip it in. And what I like to do is I just put a little bit of spray adhesive on these or a little bit of wood glue and then slip them in until they're just perfect, and then go ahead and nail that with a pin nailer, a little 23 gauge pin nailer. 1, 2, 3. I'll do the same thing on this side. And this header then is built and it's ready to go sit on top of the pillars. So I'll see you back in there. Okay, now we're back in the bathroom. I got my ends glued and nailed. 1, 2, 3 little pin nails. That'll be easy to spackle and those will disappear. Also like to put a little spackle on this corner here, and if it needs it. Sometimes when they're really tight like this, you can just paint it and it's beautiful. The paint fills the tiniest crack, but if it needs a little spackle, you can do that too. All right, let's see how she looks. So we'll take this, set it right on top. Again, I'll use my eye and just line up this edge here with this edge, so it's just right. And that one too, we center it, split the difference. Right in here, this edge and this edge should be right in line. And if anything, you want the top to be a little bit wider, not narrower. If it's a 1/16 wider, it ends up looking fine. It doesn't look wrong to the eye. But if it's a little narrow, it looks deformed or something. It just catches your eye as, oh, that's wrong. So anyway, that's a quick tutorial on how to cut an Architrave header.